got it. You want me to fix up comedy during the
I chose to be a fighter.
J'ai choisi la guerre.
I have a belief that if you want to be the best, you have to beat the best guys.
They don't have what I have. They don't have the things.
Je suis prêt pour la guerre.
Oui, je suis le meilleur. My goal is the same, it's just to be the world champion. It's gonna happen. Put the work in. I'll never stop.
They're missing that spark at home. There's something that flows through your bones that aren't in your blood. When you have the fighting inside you, and it comes out and happens now.
Quand la cage se ferme, la guerre commence.
Success is forged in darkness, made for greatness.
Has dusted his last 4 opponents. 15 of his 18 career wins have come by stoppage. Please welcome the surging Bogdan Guskov. And his opponent, a Polish powerhouse who's looking to make a run back to the title. He's gone toe-to-toe and taken out some of the best fighters in the division's history. Please welcome the former UFC light heavyweight champion of the world, Jan Blachwicz. Up next in the Bantamweight, a rising star is back after proving the doubters wrong. A combination of technique and flash makes him must-see TV. Here is Payton Talbott. Standing across the octagon, one of the most decorated combat sports athletes of all time. An Olympic freestyle gold medalist, a former UFC Flyweight and Bantamweight champion. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Henry Cejudo. And now, for a potential title eliminator in the Flyweight division. Up first, a budding Japanese superstar who has some of the most electrifying grappling in the sport today. At just 25 years old, he's on a quest to become the first Japanese champion in UFC history. Please welcome to the stage, Tatsura Taira. And his opponent, one of the most decorated flyweights in UFC history. He's a former 2-time UFC Flyweight champion and was the first Mexican-born champion in UFC history. Please put your hands together for Brandon the Assassin Baby Moreno. And now, our co-main event with the UFC Flyweight title on the line. Up first, a 24-year-old phenom who earned his title shot with one of the best performances of the year his last time out. He has some of the best boxing in the UFC, landing almost 9 strikes per minute. Ladies and gentlemen, please give it up for the pride of Myanmar, Joshua the Fearless Fan. And his opponent, one of the most dominant champions of this era. He is the owner of the most wins and finishes in flyweight history. He's fight win streak and has taken out some of the biggest names in the sport. Now looking to make his 5th title defense, please welcome the UFC Flyweight champion, Alexandre the Cannibal Pantoja. For the UFC Bantamweight Championship. To the stage first, one of the most well-rounded martial artists we have on the roster. His combination of elite boxing and make him a nightmare matchup for anyone. Reclaim the belt he once held. UFC Bantamweight Champion of the world, Petr Yan. A dominant champion who's putting together an all-time great resume. He's a cardio machine who has proven he can push the pace for as long as the fight goes. He's on a 14-fight win streak and 1 win away from tying Anderson Silva for the 2nd longest win streak in UFC history. This is the UFC Bantamweight Champion of the world, the pride of Georgia, Merab Dvalshivili.
UFC 323 press conference. If you don't have tickets to UFC 323, Dvalshivili versus Yan 2, limited tickets still available at AXS.com. All right, first question, Oscar, I believe. Go ahead.
So, the champion Merab, this is the card that you made with your 4th title fight this year. Why was it so important to you to make history in the way that you're doing on Saturday?
Yes, it's important because I want to be busy, and thank you UFC to keep me busy. And I would love to win this fight and celebrate Christmas and New Year with the still.
Yesterday, said the reason you have been able to fight so often is because you've been fighting here at home. And if he was able to do the same thing, he could fight 10 times a year. Do you think he's underestimating what it takes to fight as often as you are at this level?
I think it's excuse from him, you know. And, this is not my home. My home is Georgia, and because I want to be UFC champion, that's why I live here in Vegas. And he can do the same too. But that's because he lives comfortable in Thailand, and now he rather travel wherever the fight will be. And I do same. I fought sometimes New Jersey, and I told time I fought Russia, and Canada, and then many other states. You know, we are fighters, and we are fight wherever we have to fight. And it's not secret that UFC has a lot of events in Vegas. If you want to fight in Vegas, you can live in Vegas too if you want, or you can live in other states.
Your first fight with Payton was one of the most impressive performances of your career. How do you even top that on Saturday, or do you just go out there and do it all again? Your first fight with him was one of your best fights ever. How do you improve that on Saturday?
Yes, that's another challenge for me to improve. I'm sure he will make a lot of adjustments, and me, I have to keep the same energy. And I think it will be different because I think this time I will be more technical, or I will show more skill. He will be the aggressive one. He will chase me, and I'm sure he will try to knock me out because that's the only way he can stop me. Because if we fight decision, I'm the decision machine.
Yeah, so do you agree with that assessment? Do you believe you have to knock out Merab to beat him, or can you beat him over the course of 5 rounds?
Vegas. It's under me. Yes, I will try to knock him out.
In the first fight with Merab, he shot 49 takedown attempts. What did you learn from that first fight in stopping his offense and starting your own?
In my first fight, I fought with him with one arm. He tried 49 takedowns.
You are better than this, bro. Stop making excuse, please. Excuse. I will beat you on December 6th. What excuse you gonna make? on December 6th or no? Tell me now, please. Do you have any injuries now? Do you have any injuries now?
Saturday, we will see. Okay?
Question for you. Do you have any injuries now? Do you have injuries or no? Yes or no? I guess no. Okay. I understand.
Peter, do you have any injuries right now? Merab would like to know.
Let's go, Pantoja!
I understand.
Тебя спрашивают, есть ли какие-то травмы?
Ребята, я отлично себя чувствую. В эту субботу вы увидите просто меня в лучшей форме.
Guys, I feel great. This Saturday, you're going to see me in the best shape of my life.
Good luck.
Question for Henry Cejudo. Around and having a good conversation on the table up there when he came out. Obviously a little bit awkward between the past. How is the relationship right now? What were you guys talking about?
Let's go, Triple C!
You know what I actually, dude, me and Brandon, we weren't just training partners at one point. Like we used to live together. I had a chance to really reflect on a lot of our careers. Like, yeah, the whole breakup didn't happen. I think it was also meant to be. It went off, you became a world champ. Yourself, you went out to become a world champ, and
Let's go, Moreno!
I really wanted to bury this hatchet with you, man. Like, yo no creo que me tengas miedo, odio, nada de eso. Y también disculpa. Disculpa por muchas cosas, man. Yo sé que tenemos 9 años, güey. 9 años sin platicar. Y cogiendo la platicada que tuvimos ahorita, y no me recuerdo mucho cuando estábamos en carro platicando todo eso. Pero I want to bury the hatchet. I want to bury the hatchet. Y la única manera como es un abrazo.
Hey, we have 9 years together, man. We have a history. We haven't spoken together for 9 years. And now we're here. I just wanted to put this behind us, man. We have a past together, so let's bury that.
All right, who's got the next question?
Goes for the champion, Alexandre Pantoja.
You know, Josh could make history as the first fighter born in the 2000s to win. You said that he's handling this fight, really speaking about you and elevating his fight. So what do you make of Josh's rise in his skill set overall?
I think Josh fight for the belt is so nice because we had a lot of inspiration for a lot of young fighters, you know. Young fighters come out for UFC. And I feel amazing because I'm still here, you know. I'm considered like an old school fighter. And I have a chance to face off one of the best new generation, you know. And I have a chance to prove that fight, December 6th, gonna prove a lot for me, you know. How my level is still competitive. That fight I trained very hard, I think very serious, Joshua. And I want to see myself, how I go and my future in that region, you know. That's what I want to make December 6th.
Josh's opponents often look different after their fights because he kind of puts them through. So physically, what kind of fight are you expecting from Josh when you step down?
The fight is not Joshua Wentz. It's basic boxing. They face takedowns. Everybody watch that. But you know, he don't have a lot of wars like I did in this division. You know, they look fresh, very young. But his last fight with the Brandon Moreno, I can understand, and he's not 100% in that fight because he's big at short notice. And I can expect a better version. December 6th, you know. I think this guy very serious, you know. That's why I would prove my best version of that.
Question for Josh. In the media day yesterday, you called Pantoja the flyweight GOAT. So not only do you have the opportunity to win gold and become the youngest, well, the first fighter born in the 2000s, but dethrone the one you consider the greatest. So what do you make of this fight?
Like I said, man, it's a blessing to be in a cage with one of the greatest of all time, you know. Saturday night, I'm gonna take his belt, but that's all respect.
You also made a note that you think Pantoja's opponents gave him too much much respect. So when the octagon door finally does close behind you, how are you going to approach this fight?
Same thing I always do. I'm gonna be Joshua, man.
Question to Tatsura Taira. Tatsura, immediately you said you felt you needed to be the first person to stop Brandon Moreno to earn that title shot. So how are you approaching this fight, and how do you think you can achieve that stoppage win?
I'm happy, thank you.
Brandon Moreno 選手は、強いファイター、この試合はタフなファイトになると思うけど、準備してきたので、自分の戦いをすれば必ず勝ちます。
Brandon Moreno is a very strong fighter, very tough fighter. I've been preparing for this fight. If I show what I'm prepared, I think I'm going to take the win.
Similar question from Brandon. Straight ahead. Taira says that he needs to finish you to get that title shot. Do you believe you have to put on a spectacular performance and leapfrog all these other flyweights to get another shot at either Pantoja or Josh Van?
Yeah, I mean, brother, actually, it's funny. I heard that yesterday. He say he's gonna finish me, and I gotta put my heart in the fight this Saturday. And that's not gonna happen. I mean, man, all the respect to Tatsura, he's an amazing opponent. But man, I'm super excited in this match. I know he's an amazing grappler, but I'm an amazing grappler as well. I'm excited. I cannot wait.
Question from Payton Talbott. Immediately yesterday, you said you didn't think you would be the one to get the call to retire Henry. So now that you're only a few days away from being the last man to get to face Henry Cejudo in the UFC, I guess, what are you feeling about Henry when you make his whole career and your history between the two?
I feel that it's an honor. I think it's a very fitting end for such a, I don't know, just one of the greatest to ever do it, honestly. I have a lot of respect for Henry, and I think it's going to make for a really good fight. Everybody loves Old Yeller all the time, but all good dogs have to be put down the same. Sorry.
Triple C, baby!
Question for Henry right here. Obviously, Payton just said, all dogs have to be put down at some point. So what do you make of, this your last fight week? Are you approaching this any differently? And do you have a message for the crowd, considering this will be the last pre-fight press conference you'll get to speak with them?
Can you guys move me first before I start? Listen, he can, Payton's good, man. He's an up-and-comer. I even consider him a friend, man. Like, he's a dude that's a real recognized crew. So I know what I'm up against, and I think he knows too. And, I probably tell him that line. But I know he's ready, I'm ready. And I hope, Payton, that you can, like I told you before, man, you can take over the king of cringe. They're already getting bold, bro. Look at these guys.
Question for Bogdan. We see you with the Hitman outfit here. Can you tell us the inspiration and I guess how it relates to what you planned to do on Saturday night?
Great experience. Today I look like Hitman because this make only for fans. Помоги мне. Для того, чтобы было интереснее, чтобы смотреть было, ведь все делается для фанатов.
To spice up the press conference a little bit, I do this for the fans. This whole thing's for the fans.
For Jan, this is the only fight on the main card above 135 pounds. You're opening the main card usually as positioned to deliver something exciting. What's your prediction for this fight?
No, I don't think I can fight it one more time. No, I cannot lose this fight because I'm 10 years older than him, so I have 10 years more time for training, I cannot lose this fight.
Polish power!
Legendary Polish power. Still, I'm 10 years older and still got more hair than here.
Question for Merab and Pantoja. The two of you have more title defenses right now than all the other champions in the UFC combined. In this age of fighters changing weight classes and dropping belts, why have you guys prioritized defending the titles in your division? Go first.
What's the question?
You have more title defenses than all the other champions in the UFC combined. Why have you prioritized staying in your division?
Last part, I don't understand.
Why are you staying and defending this belt and not wanting to change weight classes?
Listen, yeah, I want to focus on my weight class. Then I don't want to jump around, go down or go up. You know, I want to focus, clean out division. And if UFC want me go up or go down, then we talk after. But right now, I'm focusing on this gentleman here, Petr Yan. I know he wants to knock me out, but my job is to not let him do that. Hey, you are welcome in my jacuzzi. You want to go jacuzzi after?
Меня в джакузи душат, мы с кем едим. Да, скажи, что его джакузи у него хватает, между прочим.
You have plenty of people in your jacuzzi. I don't need to be there.
Come on, Peter. Just doesn't matter what. After the
Я думаю, что в джакузи лучше с девочками.
I feel like you should have girls in your jacuzzi instead of who you have.
Если ты любишь с мальчиками в джакузи.
But if you like to be with jacuzzi with the boys, it's up to you.
What's the problem with the girls or boys together? Doesn't matter. You can mix. Okay. Not just boys.
Я видел, что у тебя только мальчики в
All I
джакузи.
saw is all you got is boys in yours. All you got is boys in yours is what I saw.
Если честно, вообще его с девушкой никогда не видел.
Honestly, I haven't even seen you with a girl before at all.
Pantoja, the same question for you.
Yeah, I feel great, you know. That's about hard work, you know. I think me and Merab worked so hard for this moment, you know, because maybe another champs be a little bit lazy, you know, because everything's come easy for that guys, you know. And I feel me and Merab worked so much to make this happen, you know, and we don't want this moment to leave, you know. We want to stay with this belt. We want to change my life and the family life, you know. And they prove, you know, about the pound for pound, all these mistakes, you know. All the guys say a lot of bullshit about the flyweight division, and I think we try to change that. We change that in the auto, change that with a good performance, and that's why you still motivation, you know. You see a lot of champions try to another belt, or have some simple injury, you don't want to fight for more 6 months, you know. Me, Merab, if you call, we can fight 2 months every time. And that's it, you know, after this fight, you can call me, Merab, you're ready to fight again.
So, John.
Much respect and much love, brother.
John, can you just give us your thoughts on these two exemplary champions here and everything they've said?
Well, first I would say about Alexandre Pantoja, history is going to look back fondly upon what this man has done. He is one of the greatest fighters of all time. 30 wins, 20 finishes, 5th title defense. I think if you ask Demetrius Johnson how great he is, he would tell you acutely just how good he is. And Merab Dvalshivili is on a trajectory to become the greatest mixed martial arts athlete of all time. Nothing else needs to be said. People talk about Mount Rushmore. This dude is tracking to be the greatest of all time, and he's got a huge challenge in front of him Saturday night.
Just lastly for Brandon Moreno, Brandon, we didn't hear you speak on Henry's comments there. You shook his hand, but what do you think of everything you said there, and are you willing to bury the hatchet?
Oh man, I mean, I really appreciate the comments, brother. Like I'm more private, to be honest, with you. Like, I prefer to talk with you behind the scenes and be clear. You know, I feel a little bit comfortable with all the people in front, you know. I mean, I really appreciate it. Like, I think it was a lot of different confusions with the pass of the time. But, I mean, I'm at the end, we are in a different ways. I'm trying to keep fighting. He's fighting his last fight in the company. So, and I've been always a guy of peace, and that's it, you know. So maybe we can tackle in the world later, but I appreciate what you do.
Question for Josh McMahon. Josh, we've seen us guys move along in their MMA career, and fight for titles and things like that, they tend to jump around to different gyms and find different training partners. You seem like a very loyal guy with the guys at 4-Ounce Fight Club. What is it about those guys that have, allowed you to stay at this gym the whole time?
They are just more than a teammate, and they're like family, they're like my brothers, So I trust them, and I believe in our work, and we are getting the milk.
Everybody always talks about Joshua Van's boxing. There's a guy sitting beside you that you've spent a lot of time with who has some of the best boxing in the flyweight division. Is there anything boxing-wise that Joshua Van brings to the table that you haven't already seen in the fights with Brandon Moreno?
Yeah, Moreno is one of the great of this division, I want to enjoy this moment to say thank you to Henry Cejudo. He helped Moreno, but he helped me too. I'm staying in the Henry house for a long time. He helped me my start in UFC, and a lot of guys don't know, but Henry support a lot of good fighters. And thank you, Henry. And about the boxing, of course, Josh, I'm going to show you a lot of good skills, but I'm fighting for close to 20 years professional fighter, and I'm face off with the best fighters in the world, and I want that challenge, I want that moment. I want to feel Joshua on the octagon, and I want to bring back this belt to my house.
He heard that!
Doutor, você vai enfrentar o Joshua, como já falaram. Ele pode ser o primeiro atleta nascido nos anos 2000 a conquistar o cinturão. Você que praticamente já limpou a categoria 2 vezes. O que significa agora enfrentar a nova geração?
As I mentioned before, you're facing Josh, we could be the first champion born after the 2000s. After pretty much cleaning up the division, what does it mean to face the new generation?
Enfrentar o Joshua Van, para mim, enfrentar essa nova geração, mostra que eu mesmo com 35 anos continuo no mais alto nível desse esporte, e poder enfrentar alguém tão talentoso e tão novo quanto ele, dessa nova geração, mostra quantos anos mais eu tenho nesse alto nível.
To face Joshua Van at 35 years old and face such a talented guy at such a young age, it means that I still got a lot of fire to burn. It shows how much more I have to give at 35.
Falando sobre o legado, Pantoja, vencendo nesse sábado, eu sei que o foco não é o Joshua, mas vencendo nesse sábado, já seria a hora de tentar pensar super luta, cinturão de outra categoria. Você está disposto a isso? A passar voos mais altos, uma vez que você praticamente já fez tudo?
When you talk about a legacy, your legacy, continuing to beat people in the division, having the fact that you actually pretty much, again, clearing up the division, beating it after beating someone like Joshua Van, would you consider maybe changing weight classes to even add to your legacy and continue to make it bigger?
Enfrentar o Joshua Van vai ser um grande passo na minha carreira. Eu quero muito esse enfrentamento, eu quero muito esse desafio. Mas como ele, tem outros bons desafios nessa categoria. Tem o Tatsura Taira, quem sabe o Moreno numa próxima vez também. Tem o Kyojin, então eu tenho grandes planos para a minha categoria e eu espero defender esse cinturão tantas vezes quanto o Demetrius Johnson.
Not only Joshua Van, when you talk about someone who's talented as he is, but there's so much more talent at 125. There are other talented fighters out there. You talk about Tatsura Taira. You talk about maybe facing Brandon again. You got Kyoji or Yushi as well. So there's a lot more, and I plan on defending this title many more times at flyweight.
Question for Josh now. You were supposed to fight in the contender series. You ended up making your debut on short notice. Versus many fights on short notice for you. You do envision that always ready, no matter who mindset would get you to this position so early in your UFC career.
Max, stay ready is the key.
And still!
Did you envision that it would get you here so early in your career? Did you think that it would get you here so early in your career, that mindset you carry?
Yes, sir. And I'll be here for sure.
Why are you guys
Question for Don at it. At times it feels like the flyweight division is felt under the radar, maybe missing love from the more casual viewers. So do you think fights like this, when we're seeing more and more love for the flyweights on these big cards with big incarnations, do you think this will evolve into this division that more and more casual viewers fall in love with? division?
Yeah, I think so. I think this is a great showcase for the 35ers, the 25ers, and I think a division is only as good as its champion, and champion's the fucking man. You guys say more.
Just a question for Henry over here. Henry, over here. For you. So much of your career has been framed around legacy, the Olympic gold, 2-division weight champion. When the cage door closes for what you say is the last time, what part of your legacy feels the most complete, and what part do you think you're going to leave unfinished?
Honestly, it's giving these guys an opportunity, saving the flyweight division. You know, you can always have gold, but honestly, if it wasn't for the decision of me staying down 125 pounds and knocking out TJ Dillashaw and becoming a 2-division champion, and that's when Dana said, you know what, I like this kid. The flyweights are really good, so I think that's one of the biggest things. But even here today, like Brandon stayed with me. He's trained together. Pantoja, not even Payton. Payton's come over to the house too, man, just to kind of just share knowledge. So one of the biggest things to me is honestly giving back to the sport. And honestly, on top of all the accomplishments, but the reality is it's that, man. So that's cool. I know Dana's not here. I'm not sure he's gonna give me the mic after the fight, but I even thank him too. I want to thank Dana White. He took the UFC. They bought the UFC for $2 million to eventually get in the hole for $47 million in the hole, and yet he's still stuck with the sport. And I believe that the UFC will be the biggest and greatest sport.
Just to follow up on that, Henry, do you feel like there's a part of your legacy that you're going to leave unfinished, and how okay are you with that?
Maybe some of the fights. I would say even with Brandon, O'Malley, I felt like those were great fights that the fans could have got. O'Malley, yeah. You watch my shit. Am I wrong? But yeah, I think some of those spectacles that could have happened, but they just never did. One with O'Malley being in Arizona, and then obviously with me and Brandon, him being Mexican, me being Mexican American, would have been great too. But that's not the case, and sometimes it sucks because the fans, I would have loved to, but me and Brandon, we're going to talk after this, man. I think there's a lot of things that we could hash out, and that's it, man. Like, it's case closed.
Question for Joshua Lamb. As it was mentioned before, that you will be the first man for the 2000s to be the challenger for the title. What do you want the young fighters, and the fans your age to feel when you get out in the arena on Saturday night?
The new era of fighting is here, and they got to witness the latest of Joshua Lamb.
Question for Henry Cejudo. Now that it's officially your last dance at the Octagon, is there anything specific that you think that Payton will learn from you in the Octagon on Saturday night?
I don't answer that question. Can you repeat the question? I don't know if I got it.
Is there anything about your technique or your legacy that you think that Payton could learn from you in the Octagon this Saturday night?
I'm not going to give the game plan here, but you guys have to tune in. Saturday night, ESPN Plus, last pay-per-view of the year. Buy it, don't illegally stream it.
Мераб делает день боев спарринги. The question is for you. Are you? Знаете, что Мераб делает в день поединков по 5 раундов спаррингов, а потом еще и столько же в клетке проводит. И довольно-таки неплохо. И можете ли как-то сказать?
Peter, are you impressed by Merab because we know that he actually does 5 rounds of sparring the day of the fight, and then he comes out and actually fights another 5 rounds. Are you inspired by that?
Послушайте, меня это не должно впечатлять, если он это чувствует, что оно у него работает. Но так запомните, что любая машина ломается.
I shouldn't be impressed by that. I mean, if it works for him, great, good for him. But just remember, any car is bound to break at some point. Any machine.
Еще один вопрос к тебе, Петр. Мераб постоянно выкладывает шуточные видео и фото в свои соцсети. Есть ли какая-то шутка, от которой тебе было смешно?
Merab always posts funny videos on his social media. Is there any of his jokes or any of his videos that you found funny?
Все шутки у него веселые. Я думаю, что он не специально это делает. Особенно, когда в лед прыгал. Мне понравилось.
I think that all of his stuff is pretty funny. I mean, he's probably not doing it on purpose, but I specifically like the one when he jumped head first into the ice.
Hey, Vegas, thanks for the energy today. How about a hand for all the athletes? We are going to clear the stage and square. He's jumping on. Thank you all for coming out. Stay tuned.
I'm more scared as a hitman now.
Let's go Triple C! Triple C!
Nice looking suit.